Hi guys, welcome to Worth It Dudes. This is the spoiler discussion section for our It review. So we have literally just got back from watching the film. I really liked it.
Yeah, it's good. It was good.
I thought it was really, really well shot. The first thing that stood out for me was the actors. The child actors were fantastic.
They were pretty damn believable. They were really, really believable. I mean,
so good.
It didn't feel artificial or anything like you see in like other kid films or where kids have been in. You know,
it's always like a potential spoiler for the film, essentially, as in it will spoil the film if you get shitty actors in, kid actors especially. I mean, I was saying to you in the car on the way back, when I was like, you know, when you watch the first Harry Potter film, the acting in it's atrocious, and it kind of takes away from it. But no, these guys. I mean, I think there's a couple of the kids from Stranger Things, and
yeah, there's definitely one of them. I'll place who he was. Around.
Oh no, it's a really, really good film. So if you've seen the review, which you should have before you're here, because it's going to be some spoiler talk here, you'll probably get the best impression that, you know, of how much we do actually like this film. I was a bit concerned about it, because there's this thing in Hollywood at the moment where they keep on remaking old films. They've just got no new ideas, and for the most part, the remakes aren't very good.
Yeah, we were really worried at first when we first heard that it was going to get remade, and we were like, oh no, it's going to be another one of those shitty things, but they fucking pulled it off.
Done a really good job.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there and say it's not that scary, especially for us, because we've grown up watching a lot of horror, so we're really desensitized. I mean, if you don't like clowns and you're squeamish, you probably will find it scary. But
I was a little bit.
It was a little bit scared. I found like most of the bits that were meant to be scary, they were really well done. It's quite gory in places, actually. I wasn't expecting to be quite as gory as it is.
Oh yeah, there was a bit of a shock with the arm scene.
Oh, Georgie.
Georgie.
Yeah, so the famous kind of scene of, you know, Georgie getting pulled into the sewer grate, which is, you know, from the original, if you have seen that film. So we were expecting him just to get pulled in, but like he gets his arm bitten off.
Yeah,
it's just like dismemberment. yeah, and then he's like rolling around in the rain, pissing the blood everywhere. I was like, wow, okay.
It's like, wasn't expecting that.
Okay, in for a penny. Yeah, it was definitely more gory than I was actually expecting, but.
It wasn't over-gored, like, you know.
Well, no, it wasn't sort of like, you know, old samurai film.
Yeah, it wasn't like sort of gratuitous scenes. It wasn't like Saw level of just random violence and blood.
No, it wasn't gore for gore's sake, was it? It was
done in a more realistic sort of approach. You know, if someone gets their arm bitten off or ripped off, and you've got clothing, you can see all the blood and shit. It was a surprise. We weren't really expecting that.
You know, it kind of gave you an idea of what to expect from the rest of the film, I think, because before that you're kind of still a bit apprehensive. You're not sure, you know, if they're just going to do a scene by scene remake of the originals with Tim Curry. But no, they kind of change it up quite a lot. It's quite a lot more brutal.
Really dark subject matters as well.
Oh god, so we'll come back to the sort of dark undertones in a minute. We'll just sort of cover the first sort of impressions, I guess, that we got. So the characters from the start, like, they're all completely believable. I mean, it's set in the 80s, and you kind of get that kind of Stand By Me feeling, you know, so it's like got that kind of warm 80s movie sort of feel to it, which is really nice. In fact, I was saying to Derp, it kind of made me long to be a child again, you know, because we grew up in the 80s, and the way that these kids interact with each other was completely fluid. You know, that's exactly how me and my mates were. We weren't all just stood around being best buddies. We used to fight. We used to swear at each other. We used to diss each other's mums. And just that kind of...
That's what was really good in the film. At first, when we watched it, I was like, oh no, the kids are like swearing and stuff. And then I was like, it only took like a couple of minutes after I figured out. I was like, actually, no, exactly how we were when we were kids.
Yeah, kids kind of have this like persona they show their parents, and then their persona they show their mates, haven't they? And, you know, yes, mum, no, mum, 3 bags full, mum, and then fuck you idiot. You know what I mean? So I really, really liked the way that they interacted with each other. I thought it was really well done, very organic.
Really, right.
So I can't praise the child acting in this enough. And even the adults, actually. The adults, I got creeped out by some of the adults more than the clown.
Oh, geez, the pharmacy guy.
Oh God,
Jesus, yeah.
So there's a scene. There's a scene where to distract the pharmacist, so that the boys can steal some medical supplies. This young girl basically, essentially, like, tries just talking to him, you know, almost like trying to charm him a little bit, and he goes a bit Jimmy Savile. If we're going to be honest about it, he's a little bit creepy.
He's got like the creepy smile and the eye and the double look.
Yeah,
it's like.
Yeah,
so I looked over to you, I was like, Alf!
You would not leave your child with this guy.
He's like, no!
Not a safe place to leave children with this man. So that was the first thing. So, as we said before, there are some really dark undertones to this film. Another one was the girl's father, who, without them actually saying it or showing it, you get the idea that he sexually abuses his daughter. That is... You know, that's what I took from it.
Yeah, it's just from, you know, like you say, it doesn't tell you anything, but it's just from the way it's shot. It's a little bit of eerie music coming in, and just you know, the shading and just the things that they say.
He's creepy as fuck.
Very, very creepy.
Like, he's very much, you know, she's just scared of her father. That's all there is to it. You know, he's raising her by himself. Obviously, they live in this derelict flat. And he's very touchy-feely. You kind of get the impression that he does abuse his daughter.
Well, he kind of mentioned what he did to his wife, isn't it, or something? And then she kicks him in the balls to interrupt him. So it kind of...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
because he tries to pin her down.
Yeah.
So, there's
some really dark scenes.
He creeped me out.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. And the other one was the guy, the kid with the asthma inhaler.
Oh, the mother, yeah.
Yeah, so she obviously makes him think he's more ill than he is because she likes the fact that he's reliant on her. It's like, she made me feel a bit sick, actually. She was like, I don't know. Yeah, all of the adults in it,
they were really creepy. Yeah. They were very, very creepy.
You know, it's like, who's the real villain of the story? Is it the parents or the clown? Jesus.
Or the bullies.
Oh yeah! Oh God! Yeah, bullies. So the bully characters in it are like from your worst nightmares. I mean, they are. There's one of the kids. They start carving their name into his
literally. They start carving
with a fucking knife. Yeah, writing his name. Another kid almost got his face smashed in with a rock, didn't he? And they were going to take a gun to like shoot a cat. They were like, all sorts of fucked up. So these were like actual quite scary like bullies, you know. And being set in the 80s, it's easy to like look at them and like, I don't know, they're like all like ripped t-shirts and mullets and crap, you know, rednecks. So
the mullets.
I'm not a fan of rednecks. They scare me anyway at the best of times. Like really, really like good performances all round actually. The cinematography of it was done in a really good way as well. You kind of believed that you were watching something that was filmed in the 80s. It was so well done, the way that...
Yeah, it had a lot of sort of, I'd say, 80s style of filming done as well. So you got had a lot of high shots panning through. You know, you don't really see so much of that in modern filming now. It was like, we've got this technology of the dolly system and... You know, we're panning, and it was nice. It was nice sort of to see that sort of things done like that, and you know, there was no like magical CGI effects all over the place. It was just good old fashioned filmmaking more than anything else. You know,
definitely.
Use of lighting to hide elements, like you saw like Pennywise in the sewer drain. Like you had a lot of shading over his top part, but it's just his eyes were.
Yeah, he's freaky.
Through.
He's very freaky. The actor who played Pennywise, by the way, he was fantastic. Yeah. He was absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna actually say I preferred him.
You're gonna say, I
preferred him to Tim Curry. I didn't think it could happen because it was one of those things where when you first find out that Tim Curry was Pennywise, as a kid growing up, watched it, was terrified of it, and then when you find out, you know, the guy from the Wild Thornberrys is actually Pennywise the clown, you're a bit like, what? Hey?
And also, he looked just like a normal clown in the original film. He looked fucking scary.
Yeah, he
looked really scary.
That is something. Yeah. I mean, in the original one, he kind of looked like an ordinary clown who was a little bit creepy. In this, he doesn't look like he's human.
No.
He looks like a monster.
No, it had kind of like the Crow makeup, things going across the eyes, but
it's his head, isn't it? He's got like a veiny forehead that's like bulbous.
And then he's got like the two front teeth.
They're like rabbit teeth.
Rabbit teeth, yeah. It was really eerie. It's just like every time he was on screen, it was like, shit, that's actually really scary. You just see him in the background looking over at the kids and stuff, and they're like, that's not right, I don't like it, it's scary. And
so, as I did say before, like, both me and Derp have been desensitized by years and years and years of horror films. So, like, I didn't find this scary, I'm not going to have any trouble sleeping tonight, but I did find it really enjoyable. And, like, there was only a few jump scares, which is a thing that horror films tend to do for cheap scares, and I don't enjoy it. It's like one or two is fine, but I like psychological horror, something that gets in your head. A lot of the way that this was shot sometimes was very Sam Raimi. So if you've seen the Evil Dead films, there's at times it's almost like almost deadites coming, and you could almost imagine Ash just kicking down the door with his fucking chainsaw and shotgun.
Maybe it's the same year, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So like it had like almost a touch of Army of Darkness to it, which I personally really enjoyed.
So it had the sort of like the fast movement of the character, but shaking as well.
Yeah.
Towards the screen.
Where they suddenly like speed up the cameras, isn't it? Where you kind of give that like impression that something's coming towards you faster than what it is. So like on the whole, we really, really, really enjoyed this film. We do feel though, because we're trying to be critics here, I think that we do need to point out a few flaws that it had. It wasn't a perfect film. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was close. But, we've got to be honest about it, and there are a few things that I picked up on. So one of them was that the almost continuity of the film. So I know there's a scene where one of the kids gets chased around a basement by a man with no head, like a monster, which then turns into Pennywise, and then an adult comes and it all stops. So he's obviously freaked right the fuck out. But then he just goes and plays with his mates immediately afterwards, and I kind of felt like you would probably mention it. Guys, something weird's going on. I just got chased by a guy with no head.
Yeah.
He was trying to eat me somehow with his neck. And it happens like each of the kids has an encounter with Pennywise first of all, and then they don't say anything to each other or anybody else. Which is, I think
until the last kid experiences something that was.
Then they all put their kind of all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Which was a little bit like, really, they could have maybe played it up a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, definitely as a kid myself, if I witnessed anything like that, I would have been like telling my mates,
man, I've just seen some shit.
Yeah, like, you motherfuckers want to see what's in my bathroom? There's blood everywhere. It was. So that kind of was weird in the way that like it was filmed.
One thing that I picked up, which kind of felt like, did I pass out or something, or I black out for a bit, was there was a scene where some real heavy stuff has just happened, some real heavy like action sort of scenes happen. Then literally seconds later, they're outside and the mum comes out and picks him up. Picks the other kid up.
Yeah. So they go to essentially the haunted house. So there's a whole sort of series of events that happen there, which leads to the sickly kid. We're going to call him the sickly kid. The asthma inhaler kid. He breaks his arm, or dislocates it. And so they get away from the clown and they all leave. And the mum's there with her car shouting at the kids about...
You don't even see them leave. That was the thing.
No, it's like cuts from inside the house to outside the house. Right. And if this was a modern film, you would probably assume that somebody had called mum with the mobile phone. It's 1988, so there's no mobile phones. They haven't been able to call her, yet she knew where to find them. There's probably some deleted scenes that might explain that.
I hope so, because it's something that really took me out of that immersion sort of thing. I was like, it was going great, and then that small cut really sort of stuck out quite a bit for me. I was like, oh, they could have just, not like we're saying like all the ends are stupid, but when you're immersed with a film, you have random cuts going in. It breaks the film, and that for me really did hurt it quite a bit. Just for that scene, I'm not going to say it ruined everything, but
as you can tell, we are being really nitpicky to critique the film at the moment because it was that good. So I, before going to watch it, as I usually do check out what people are saying about it, like review scores and whatnot. And I saw IGN give like a 9.6 out of 10. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. But I think it definitely deserved the 9 that we gave it. It definitely earned that. The music is good, the way it's filmed is good, the acting's solid, the story is very good.
It's the way it ended as well.
It very much left to be continued kind of feeling.
Yeah. Well, it
was part 1. They went straight up at the end, say, end of chapter 1. So onwards to the next film, when that comes out, I really hope that they do it justice, because my issue with the original film was that the kids part was actually really interesting, but when it got to adults, I found it really dull.
Yeah.
Now, that might very well be I saw it as a child. I did see it when I was like 9.
It's still the same. I watched it a couple months back,
right,
and it still has that same thing. The kids part is the best part, and then it gets to the adults. It's just like it's a bit boring, or it's just not as convincing as it was.
Right.
So that's the kind of fear we still hold if that's where they're going to go.
It seems like they are. I mean, I think the girl had a vision or something, didn't she, when she was...
Yeah, and again, that felt a bit random as well. The scene just was a little bit random. It just straight away after...
They wanted to, without mentioning them, I think, touch on the deadlights. So, again, if you haven't seen anything to do with it, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But fans of the book and the original film will know. They don't actually mention Pennywise's deadlights, but they do show them for a split second. And the girl kind of gets like mesmerised and levitated, and while she's in that state, she has a vision of them as adults, and basically you don't see it, she just talks about it. So that's where they're sort of saying, the next chapter's going to be when they're all sort of grown up and they have to deal with Pennywise again. But I really hope they make the second part as good as that.
I think it's done by the same. I think it's going to be done by the same director as well.
Excellent.
I'm aware of.
No, definitely worth your time, guys. Do check it out. Sorry, this is a slightly less interesting discussion than Dark Tower, but this is just...
But it is a Stephen King related thing.
It is. But I mean, I know in the Dark Tower discussion we had plenty of bad things to say. It was probably a lot more interesting to view. This was just a good film.
It is a very good film. So
do go and check it out. It's refreshing, actually, because it's been a while since we came out of the cinema happy.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have to wrap it up there, though, guys. So thank you for watching. If you're new, do consider subscribing, and like the video if you liked the video. Aside from that, guys, we will catch you real soon. Take care.